Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the historic Holly Theatre. This evening's presentation of Twas the Night Before a Christmas Carol, a play in 2 acts by Mr. Timothy Quigley. Mr. Quigley is an American of Irish descent, and it is the premise of this play that Mr. Charles Dickens, the eminent English author, was influenced in his writing of his beloved classic A Christmas Carol by his butler and his Irish housekeeper. The historic Holly Theatre takes no position as to the veracity of this claim, but invites you, the audience members, to ascertain for yourselves whether a convincing case has been made or blarney has been promulgated. For your safety, we request that you kindly keep the aisles clear for the first 10 minutes of the performance, along with the area before the first row of seats, as carolers will be entering and circulating there. If you must leave during the performance, the exits are at the rear where you entered, or in the case of emergency, in the balcony to your left, or here on the orchestra floor after the red exit sign. Please silence all electronic devices at this time. No photography, please. The Historic Holly Theatre is a volunteer organization. Cast and crew of this and all our productions are volunteers, and there are opportunities for you to participate in a range of activities such as on-stage roles, technical support, concessioning, ushering, etc. The Historic Holly Theatre is supported by advertisers listed in your program. We request that you patronize our advertisers. We especially thank the 2 principal sponsors of this production, Napa Heating and Air and White Interiors. Information about the Historic Holly Theatre and forthcoming productions can be found at the website hollytheatre.com. And now, the Historic Holly Theatre and the Holly Theatre Company of Actors presents, for your entertainment and edification, Twas the Night Before a Christmas Carol. Charles Dickens did not lead a particularly happy childhood. He had little schooling except for some English and Latin lessons given by his mother. She found that Charles was particularly good at recitations. At age 9, the family moved to Camden Town, one of the poorest areas near London. Charles did not attend school, but spent time observing his surroundings. An elder cousin who lived with the family painted a little theater for Charles, and he spent many an hour improvising the scenes around him. Charles' family was ultimately sent to Marshalsea, the infamous debtor's prison. Only Charles remained on the outside to earn a meager living in his cousin's blacking factory, stirring pots of oily substances. An unanticipated inheritance allowed the family Dickens to emerge from Marshalsea. Charles was then able to attend the Wellington House Academy for 2 years. He was not a great student, but relished in the acting of plays. At age 14, his schooling ended, and Charles found employment as an office boy. At age 23, he gained a position at the Morning Chronicle as a reporter. At 24, he married Catherine Hogarth and wrote the first installments of his Pickwick Papers. As the serial continued month by month in the old monthly, people in London were in a frenzy to read the next installment, exposing the horrors of the debtor's prison. They found that they were reading of real characters, full of the same joys and sorrows as they. Perfect realism, genuine humanness, intense sympathy with all mankind. Dickens touched the hearts of the poor and great alike. The Pickwick Papers were then followed by Oliver Twist and Nicholas Nickleby. Sales of Dickens' books were enormous. He quit the reporting business and bought a house in Devonshire Terrace and found a favorite pub, Broadstairs. Charles never lost his love for acting. After he would write a new story, play, or book, he, along with his wife and children, would act it out to see how it would play.
Bloody thanks I get. Working all the day and night. Thinks he's lord and master. Tighter than my grandmother's corset.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
What are they doing here at this hour? Let the servants have to remember that.
All of your kin, good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding and bring it out here.
Time to feed the bloody horses. Right, off we go.
We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring some out here. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings to you and all of your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, very nice. Very nice. See you next year.
Let me sing a song for the children.
Well, if they were here, I suppose there would be no way to avoid it.
What for the children?
And Mr. Dickens, return home.
Likely just before supper, then straight to bed.
Oh, but it's Christmas Eve.
So it is. Good evening, ladies. Good evening.
Three kings of Orient are bearing gifts we travel so far. Field and towns of Orient are bearing gifts of Orient are. Where three kings of Orient are bearing gifts we travel so far. Field and towns of Orient are bearing yonder star. Where three kings of Orient are bearing gifts we travel so far. Field and towns of Orient are bearing yonder star. Weekly comes of Orient are bearing gifts which comes so far. Field and mountain, foreign mountain, following yonder star.
Very nice. We can all sing together. Now we're leaving tonight.
You may well return. In any case.
Should you return, madam, please use the main door to the estate. This is the servants' entrance.
Should we tell him that Mr. Dickens requested a song at this door? He wanted to put some Christmas spirit into his butler's outlook.
Ouch!
Merry Christmas!
Miracle I get any work done here at all with all these interruptions. Oh, who is that now? All the deliveries have been made. Might be some poor wench looking for a handout for the oh-so-generous kitchen of Charles Dickens. Go away, can't you see I'm engaged at the moment? We have no scraps today. Who are you?
Well, I'm the new governess, Kathleen Quinn.
Good God, you're Irish.
Oh, you English or keen observers you are.
Irish with a quick tongue, I see.
Well, I hope you'll be as quick with my luggage.
With your luggage? I am head of staff at Devonshire Terrace, Nicholas Farnsworth. You will handle your own luggage, if you please.
There's no boy, no porter.
Well, afraid he's having a sharp respite at the moment. That is all of your earthly possessions?
It is. And where might the children's rooms be? And what is that list you seem to be trying to memorize?
Up the stairs, the 4 rooms on your right. This is the servants' schedule.
Oh, I would like to meet the rest of the staff, and of course be introduced to the children and Mr. and Mrs. Dickens.
Well, you've met the staff. The family is on a shopping excursion. The coachman leaves in an hour to pick them up.
What do you mean I've already met the staff? And if so, when did I meet them? And why are you putting on farming clothes?
This is the proper attire for the gardener. We are the staff. You and me.
English humor, charming.
And after I've cleared the snow from the pathway and fed the horses, I will change into the coachman's uniform and ride into town to pick up his lord and master, Charles Dickens, and family. This is my doorman's uniform for entertaining guests. This is my butler's uniform for serving dinner, drinks by the fire, and the like.
I was told by the agency that I would be the governess.
And so you shall. This is your governess apron and smock.
And those other female uniforms.
Not for me, I assure you. Although we did have a coachman that got a family a few years back, but we won't go into that right now. This is your cook's uniform. You'll get quite a bit of use out of that. Your downstairs made uniform and apron, and this is your upstairs made uniform.
Oh, good heavens! The hemline is far too short, and the bodice is all too revealing. It will never do.
But I picked this out myself.
I can imagine. So, this is the schedule.
Yes, it is. I like everything very punctual.
When do we sleep, eat, or do anything else? Why are there just the 2 of us? I thought Mr. Dickens was rich.
Well, I suppose that he is, but he was raised poor, so now he's tighter with a shilling than an Irishman with a drop of whiskey. Perhaps you should take your numerous pieces of luggage to your quarters and try the cook's uniform on for size, and get cracking on supper.
Cook?
You can cook, can't you?
Oh, I can.
A diverse menu.
Diverse, to be sure.
Excellent. Well, you'll find the ingredients hereabout.
We'll have you potatoes.
Why, surely.
Go on.
After supper, Mr. Dickens will retire to his study through there. He has decided to write a Christmas story this year. He has promised the children that the family will act it out on Christmas Day. This being Christmas Eve, he is still having difficulty with some of the more trivial aspects of the story, such as characters, plot, period, etc., etc.
One night to write the whole story.
Yes, I expect it will be up straight through the night until morning, if need be. Seeing as he's struggling so, I imagine his lordship will be requiring you to collaborate with him yet again.
Again?
Oh yes, it is a well-known fact that I have collaborated with Mr. Dickens on most of his most important works.
Well known by whom?
Well, by the chaps at Broadstairs, for example.
A pub?
A magnificent English pub.
Magnificent English pub, my foot. You Brits wouldn't know a decent pub if you were born in it.
I was upstairs.
Very telling. Is there any music played there?
In the pub itself? Good Lord, no. Allow a man to have his pint in peace and quiet.
You have described an English wake. No music means no proper pub. That is a fact.
I suppose a proper pub is an Irish pub.
Well, you suppose right.
I do not mean to agree with you.
Get used to it. So, what precisely have you contributed to Dickens' books?
Well, just for an example, mind you, when his lordship was struggling with the title for one of his books, he asked for a glass of Scotch whiskey to relax his mind. I asked his writership if he wanted an olive or a twist. Olive or twist?
I see.
He changed the bloke's name to Oliver, and the rest, as we say, is history.
And you're Nicholas Nickleby. The name Nicholas?
Remarkable coincidence, isn't it?
And to the Pickwick Papers.
Ah, well, I cannot take credit for that one, I'm afraid, as his lordship wrote that one prior to my meeting him at Broadstairs at my employment here. But I could have been the model for any number of the characters in that story.
I have no doubt. You gained employment here by associating with Dickens at a pub.
I did make his lordship's acquaintance there, yes. Dear me, look at the time. I sit here babbling and I must be off in half an hour.
Mrs. Quinn, I'm so glad you had a safe journey. I see you are hard at work already.
Oh, very nice to make your acquaintance, Mrs. Dickens. But peeling potatoes is hardly work. I could do it in my sleep. It gives a person time to think about things.
Quite. Yes. Welcome as well, Mrs. Quinn.
Oh, sir, it is a pleasure. I admire your writing so. I can't imagine any more of a good fortune as to be of service to you and your family.
Isn't she charming? Let me introduce you to the children. We have Charlie, Mary, Walter,
Oh,
and Katie.
Katie, such well-mannered children, and a real sparkle in their eyes.
It's Christmas Eve.
So it is.
Tomorrow's a special day. We can eat as much as we can hold.
And Father's ready his first Christmas story. We shall act it up tomorrow evening in a little play and be acted above the carriage house.
So I've been told. Now, if you'll take off your coats and point me to the coat closet, I'll hang them up for you.
The children can do that for themselves. We try not to spoil them.
Too much that is.
I tried to get them to come into the main door to the estate. We had had the pathway cleared of snow and all, but they insisted on using the servants' entrance.
We get to smell the bread bacon and the biscuit if we come in this way.
Well, if you come back in a few moments, you may get the aroma of fresh potato bread baking.
Oh, I hadn't planned on any fresh bread, but I will see what I can do.
Do we have any sweets to give out? Should some people singing Christmas carols come round?
Oh, I have some secretly hidden away for just such an occasion. They should do nothing. Mrs. Quinn,
Oh, please call me Kathleen, Mrs. Dickens.
and my name is Catherine. You may call me whatever you are most comfortable with. Now, you've had a long journey and must be tired. Please, go rest up a bit and I will finish with the dinner preparation.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm well near finished and feeling just fine. Thank you, though. It was very kind of you to offer.
Father, have you setting for your Christmas story?
Yeah, well, not precisely, but I am considering several options.
We'll need some costumes and props for a play, which will be a success.
We only have tomorrow morning and afternoon to make ready, to move on our lines and make the acting for the stage and so on.
Will there be a ballerina in your play, Father? I have a splendid costume if I were to play ballerina.
Ballerina. I'm not sure, but I will consider it. Thank you, Katie.
And we must design a set, so we therefore must know where the story will take place and during whatever.
Ooh, the carriage house attic is full of art items your father has been collecting over the years. I think he has enough to start his own theater.
Interesting thought, my dear.
Hey, Nicholas, please remember to start a fire in the carriage house fireplace in the morning. It will take a while to take the chill out of that attic.
There are chops for all clothes of all descriptions in the attic. What fun we'll have selecting from those. Father, do you know where Arrow's story will take place?
Not exactly.
Oh.
Maybe at Christmas in the future, we could put together our costumes of how we think people will dress, say in 1,000 years from now.
Christmas future. I'm not sure about that.
Or Christmas of long ago then. I have a smashing wooden sword that looks almost real. It would not actually cut anyone, of course.
Yes, the brave knight slays the dragon with 1,000 splinters that drive the beast mad. So it jumps off a cliff to avoid the agony of having his mother dig out each and every splinter with a sewing needle.
Very humorous.
I think he might be onto something. Second thought, I think rather not. The Christmas past is a bit more likely, however, I think.
Father, you haven't the foggiest idea what the story will be about, do you?
Now, Katie, I'm sure your father has numerous ideas all spinning around in his mind, and he's trying to narrow it down to the very best one. You'll just have to wait until Christmas Day to find out.
I am more excited about your play than I am about the poison trees we might see tomorrow.
Katie, the most exciting thing of all is that tomorrow is the birthday of Jesus.
Oh, well said, Mary. That is what Christmas is all about, after all.
Everything is a celebration of the birth of Christ child.
I believe there are some carolers at the main door. I arranged them to come and sing for the children.
Why, thank you, Nicholas. How very kind of you. However, ask them to come round to the doorway here so that Mrs. Quinn, Kathleen that is, can hear them as well.
To the kitchen, sir.
Oh, yes, please do.
Very well, then.
Oh, look at all of the Dickens. Won't we just be so lovely? I'll be back. What's wrong with me? Everybody playing.
Here we come a-caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you glad Christmas too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. God bless the master of his house, likewise the mistress too. And all the little children that round the table go. Love and joy come to you, and to you glad Christmas too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
So it is.
Would you like some tea or sweets?
Oh, no, thank you.
Father's to write a story about Christmas tonight, and we shall all act it out tomorrow evening in the carriage house attic.
It will be a sort of play.
Father's Charles Dickens, or rather, so many nouns.
Oh, yes. We are quite aware of that. That is why we are so pleased to be here singing for you.
If Father writes in a part from carolers, will you come back tomorrow evening to be announced the play?
Katie, please.
Yes, I'm quite sure these ladies have plans of their own for Christmas.
Nothing on my social calendar. And if anyone does, I'm sure we can change our plans. Can't we, ladies? To be in a play written by Charles Dickens, I should say. I would be delighted. We won't get our hopes up, though, will we, ladies? Well, we must be off. Have a wonderful Christmas. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Children, it's time to put your toys away and get ready for dinner.
I worked my will. Every fool with Merry Christmas on her lips would be boiled in her own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through her heart.
Do you think you can write an entire play in just one evening? You look too confident, if you ask me. You looked a bit worried, I must say.
Children short of competent, however.
The family seems very cordial, and the children are very well behaved. Such sparkle in their eyes.